What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Review This with the Scene Snobs. I am Mick Manhattan, one of your hosts, one of the Scene Snobs, and I got to check out Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the sequel to the Shazam movie from 2019, brought out by DC, starring Zachary Levi and a slew of others, which we will get into. The bad guys this time around are the Daughters of Atlas, played by Lucy Liu, Helen Mirren, and Rachel Ziegler. This Shazamily, as they call it. Well, they don't really call it in the movie, but it's being called that. The Shazamily is out there with their powers, just trying to help things, save the day, but there's kind of being pulled apart. And, Shazam, or Captain Marvel, as I know him from the comics, is trying to keep his brothers and sisters together as long as he can. And it's a really interesting tale how they kind of went with this. They upped the ante in this one. I'm going to give my full review, both non-spoiler right now, then I'll give my rating, then I'll tell you when we get to the spoiler, and we'll talk about, all the spoilers and stuff I want to get into then. But I walked into this movie, and I have seen the first Shazam movie a couple times. I liked it. Is it the most memorable movie? No, I don't remember everything about it. I remember Mark Strong was the bad guy. Kind of remember some elements and some scenes to it. But I do remember, when I liked it, it was an enjoyable experience, but I never really resonated back to it. I will tell you, this movie, on the other hand, I went into it. I had no expectations, especially with everything, the shakeups at DC that we're hearing about, how James Gunn and Peter Safran, who did produce this movie, are just kind of stepping away from that whole Snyderverse, and they're going a different route with it, and they're changing things up. So going into this, I was like, all right, whatever it is. I'm going to go and just try and enjoy it. And I got to tell you, I walked out of there and I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. And comparing it to the first, this is one I could see watching over and over again. I really like the villains in the Daughters of Atlas in this. I thought at the end of the first one, kind of adding the whole family to have powers took away from Billy Batson and where he was going with it. I thought it would have been more fun to kind of enter maybe a sequel with him alone having the powers and still kind of coming into it, not taking anything away from the family getting them, but maybe just kind of hold off more. That's what I thought in terms of that part with the first one. The second one picks up, they have their powers doing their thing, and I got to tell you, I feel like I was wrong. I like that they had their powers. I like that it went into this and the family element is there, because it still went and it actually enhanced why Billy has to learn his powers and learn to utilize them and what he can do. I really liked that aspect of it. They really upped the ante. I thought the visual effects were very good. It was just an all-around fun movie. I kind of harken back to Black Adam was one of the last ones to come out, and it's very, in the comics, Black Adam and Captain Marvel very heavily connected. And I will say that with all the rumors, I don't know what's true. I'm not going to speculate, but I could, to me, because that would be speculation. I'll just leave it alone. But supposedly due to the rumors that The Rock turned down being in this movie because he thought it was just too silly and off-brand for him. And I got to tell you, after seeing Black Adam, after seeing Shazam! Fury of the Gods, he might have wanted to be in this one, because this is the better of the two movies out of those two that were heavily connected in a lot of ways among fans. And especially with situations like that. We know we got Superman at the end of Black Adam, and they were setting that up. But I thought that could have been a really cool element to this story. And honestly, the whole thing kind of shuts down the Black Adam feel to it and what they did in that series. So I kind of get why they're moving away from it. I hope they don't move away from this. I don't know how they're divvying it up. I don't know how they're going to figure this out. There's, characters in this that I really hope they keep, and I'd like to see the story kind of continue forth and see where it goes. It's just very interesting to me, and I like this family element, and I do like that there's a comedic side to it. It's almost like when you're watching the Marvel movies, a good comparison would be, you're going to watch a lot of things that are really kind of, stretch and hit the drama hard, but then you fall back on an Ant-Man and you're going to get chuckles, or the Guardians of the Galaxy, still can have their dramatic moments, but the flair is there for comedy. I like that Shazam adds that element to the DC universe. And I hope it doesn't go anywhere too far. I really would like to see more of these. So we'll see what James Gunn has in store for that. I do want to talk about it a little bit. So looking up the ratings and such for this movie so far, I don't tend to go with the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't. Critics, I know I'm one of them. I get it. But I really believe the audience score is always the best place to go with that. And I want to talk about this 81% right now. And through the weekend, I'm sure we're going to get a big shuffle in that because that's not a high number of reviewers in the audience. However, for me, I feel it fits there. I would say between a 70 and an 81. It's like a 6.9 on IMDb. And again, we're going to see some fluctuation. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I have it right around the same with my ranking. My ranking for this movie is 3.5. I feel like that kind of fits within out of 5 because that fits right around where I'm like kind of looking at it. But it's a movie that like stands there. And if it's standing there out of all the DC stuff that we got and where we're going with it, I feel like this is, there's no reason to keep this around, even if it's an isolated thing. And you can isolate it. That's the fun part. Just take this, isolate it, and keep it going. It'd be a good franchise. There's a lot of fun elements to it. So I had a good time. Like I said, the visual effects are on point. I love Zachary Levi as the lead in this. He does such a great job. And I believe his name is Asher Angel, the kid who stars in the movie, who plays young Billy Batson, does a great job. But one of the standouts for me throughout this whole, Asher Angel is his name, is Jack Dylan Grazer. He plays like the best friend to Billy Batson from the first movie. He plays such a good role. How he kind of has to go on even more of an adventure. It's really amped up. And I like that they didn't, like, I love Adam Brody in the movie. He just plays real smug superhero type really well. But I'm glad they didn't make it where he was more of the focus because he's a bigger name. And they let the kid kind of take over and play the role. He plays Freddy in the movie. It's such a fun element to the whole thing. And I really like that. There's a fun dynamic to it. I know he had, from what I remember in the first movie, he had a big impact on Billy Batson and kind of how it was going. But they really upped it with his storyline and kind of adding that element into it and all the other kids as well. So I really enjoyed this movie. Guys, if you're looking for a fun movie to go see this weekend, go check it out. It's bigger, it's got a huge dragon in it, which is fun. And just all the elements to it scream, go see this on the big screen. It's a fun action movie. So go check it out. I would love to know what you think. So I'm going to get into the spoiler territory in just a moment. So there's nothing major, but I do want to kind of touch down on some things. And I'm going to touch on some things that I really kind of didn't enjoy about it. And if you want to stick around or come back and watch that later, please do. And we'll get into that aspect. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. All right, guys. So the spoilers to this, and the reason I want to talk about spoilers, because there are some aspects of it. It kind of fell a little short for me. And the reason I say this for spoilers, because I want to get in depth on that. So I didn't love how let me get this. I'm trying to put it the right way. So I didn't love how they're kind of ham-fisting a lot of the DC stuff in to it, like, talking about Superman, talking about Batman. I thought it was fun in the first one. This one just, it seems like a comparison, but it also just keeps reminding me that while this huge force that these 6 kids with these superpowers are having a lot of trouble fighting, where are all these other superheroes? Where is the Justice League? Why aren't they called in? This was elevated to the point where I thought the damage being done is on like doomsday level damage. And if he knows Superman, they know Wonder Woman, Batman, everything, why wouldn't they be there? Now they add this dome element to it, sort of like a Simpsons movie or Under the Dome, Stephen King thing. They add this dome element where people are kind of out, but there were ways in, and they show that to us. So, they show, towards the end, they show that to us. It's very Deus Ex Machina ending. I did not love that portion of it. I'm glad it continues, but it kind of goes to the point where when we get to Billy Batson have to go up against the baddie and Lucy Liu, like she's the main bad in this. It's really well done. It's fantastic. He makes the choice. He says, I got to sacrifice myself to do this. It's the only way. And it really is. And I like that. And then they show all the emotional, like, devastation in the family's lives when they see young Billy is dead. Then they take him to the other realm, which it kind of feels like they were going like a Thor thing there. They take him to the other realm where I guess Mount Olympus or the Garden or whatever it is. They don't really like, they kind of tell you like the Garden of Atlas or this, but like nothing too major. So they get there and he's buried. He's dead. In the weirdest way possible, but whatever. They say we're going to bury him like we did the gods. So he's like under the tree of life. And only a god can bring a god back to life, I guess is the whole lore of that. And the one who survives, Anthea is her name, which is Rachel Ziegler's character, lost her powers at some point, so she's no longer has the powers of a god to do it. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because then you get this Deus Ex Machina, everybody says goodbye, everybody's sad. They all have their powers back. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They do not have their all, but they do get them back very quickly. Wonder Woman shows up. Gal Gadot. She shows up, saves the day, brings Billy back to life. And it was great to see her. And I would love to see her continue being Wonder Woman. But with everything going on right now, everything's up in the air. We don't know what's going on. And I don't like that they're leaving it all open like this. It's not surprising to me. It feels like with Marvel, you get these end credit scenes, or you get that like when Wonder Woman shows up, and it's like, is this a, like not Wonder Woman, but if somebody shows up and you're like, oh, is this a hint? Was this where we're going to in the next thing? But we don't know what, everything's up in the air here, so we don't know. So now I'm investing my time. You're showing me Gal Gadot, and I understand this was filmed before they were brought in. But talk about it then. Tell us, like, are they done or not? I know they want to see how it does. I know the logistics of how it works and what they're actually waiting for, but it throws off the fans, and I think it's going to damage your movie more, and I hope it doesn't. And the ending just kind of threw it off for me. It was a happy ending where everybody's alive, everybody's happy. Wonder Woman comes in, saves the day, final scene, and then you go in and you have two more scenes after that where was it Dye Beard from Peacemaker and James Gunn's wife, I can't remember her character, and the Peacemaker television show, show up to recruit Shazam into the Justice Society of America, which again is sort of a play off of where Black Adam was. So who knows what the hell is going on at this point, because if his wife's in it, are they going to keep this? Is this our hint? And then afterwards, there's a second end credit scene where Mark Strong comes back, and there's the villains are obviously setting something up. So I am interested. I would love to see the Shazam movies go on more, because I had a lot of fun with this one. But God, honestly, like, I'm getting a little tired of how it's sort of like being laid out and everything's mysterious, and they're just kind of giving us tidbits here and there. And then like they announce all of these movies, but we're staying away from this. We're just, these last movies are coming out. I wish they would really stop that, so that way, if they are going to intend to keep it going, we can invest properly. So without that, that's really what I just didn't like about it. That's where it kind of took me out, and that ending kind of took me out. But overall, it was fun to see. Had a good time. Zachary Levi did a great job. The entire cast did a great job. All the way down the line, everybody was incorporated and utilized properly. And I had a great time with it. So I would love to know, if you go see this movie, what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Let me know. I'm very excited to hear it. Or join our Discord, where we'll be talking about it there and more. And let's just have a good time. So I am Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. Please go check out the Scene Snobs. Maybe subscribe, hit like, check out some of our other stuff, because we have fun videos, content, all that stuff coming out all the time. Until next time, this is Review This with the Scene Snobs. You can check us out on the Scene Snobs Podcast, live on our Patreon every Tuesday at 9 p.m. and then available on YouTube and all podcast platforms afterwards. All right, guys, I'm Mick Manhattan again, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Hey guys, Mick here.
Thanks so much for watching the show and supporting us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming back and joining in the comments. But guys, I really want to thank you, our patrons who are out here supporting us, helping us keep the lights on. Really, truly appreciate you. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, AJ, George G3, Chris S, Dale, Chris H, Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, and John W. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Guys, we have 3 tiers available right now. As of March 1st, we're adding 2 more tiers for a total of 5 with tons of perks. So go check out patreon.com/thescenesnobs. And join our Snob Nation Discord channel where the moderators are keeping everything going and we're having really fun conversations over there and more. So go check it out. It's free to join and just be part of the Snob Nation. And remember to embrace the absurdity. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have tons of great shows coming out and more. Our lives are over on Patreon, but you can check out the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show on our YouTube channel Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and tons more shows coming up thereafter. We have great shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, Real Combat, movie reviews, and tons more. We have fun over there, and we think you will too. If you're looking for great merch, go over to the snobsmerch.com store. Use promo code SNOBS for 10% off of your order. We have tons of shirts, mugs, everything, stickers, all different types of designs. We love it. I think you will too. So go check it out and let us know what you think. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms. We are at The Scene Snobs everywhere. You can also follow Casey at Planos21 on Instagram, at Casey the Madman on TikTok, and at Twitter Night on Twitter. Guys, tons of fun stuff and new things coming out every day, so go check out our content there. Thank you guys again. We are The Scene Snobs. Embrace the absurdity with us, and we love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.